Terima kasih rakan penyampai di Angkasa Puri. Memasuki hari ke-6, misteri kehilangan pesawat MH370 milik Malaysia Airlines yang membawa penumpang 239 orang masih belum terjawab. Dan ketika ini, sidang media pada hari yang ke-6, yang pertama kali pada hari ini akan berlangsung, dan ianya akan disampaikan oleh Dato Seri Hishammuddin Hussein selaku Pemangku Menteri Pengangkutan dan juga Ketua Pengarah Jabatan Penerbangan Awam Negara Dato Azharuddin Abdul Rahman. Dan suasana ini menimbulkan perasaan yang bercampur baur dan pelbagai reaksi dari bukan sahaja kepada ahli keluarga, malah kepada pihak media dan juga masyarakat tempatan maupun luar negara. Dan ini adalah satu kejadian yang tidak diduga sama sekali apabila pesawat MH370 terputus hubungan dari Pusat Kawalan Udara. Dan sehingga kini kita terus tertanya-tanya meskipun usaha dan operasi mencari dan menyelamat masih dijalankan dari pelbagai negara. Dan jadi untuk mengetahui status terkini mengenai operasi mencari dan menyelamat, kita terus ke meja sidang media sekarang.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our busy session for today. We are now into our 6th day of the operation, and we will start out with the briefing by our Minister of Transportation, Arvind.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'll start off with a statement which goes like this. It is now 6 days since MH370 disappeared. There are currently 43 ships and 40 aircraft searching for it, 26 ships and 25 aircraft in the South China Sea, and 17 ships and 15 aircraft on the Straits of Malacca. We are grateful for the assistance from around the world. With every passing day, the task becomes more difficult, and as always, our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those on the flight. Trust me, we will spare nothing in our efforts to find MH370. Before I take any questions, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to clear up a few issues. Firstly, being on the engine data. I would like to refer to news reports suggesting that the aircraft may have continued flying for some time after last contact. As Malaysian Airlines will confirm shortly, those reports are inaccurate. The last transmission from the aircraft was at 0107, which indicated that everything was normal. Rolls-Royce and Boeing teams are here in Kuala Lumpur and have worked with MAS and the investigations team since Sunday. These issues have never been raised. Whenever there are new details, they must be corroborated. Since today's media reports, MAS has asked Rolls-Royce and Boeing specifically about the data. As far as Rolls-Royce and Boeing are concerned, those reports are inaccurate. On the Chinese satellite imagery, a Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency surveillance plane was dispatched this morning to investigate potential debris shown on Chinese satellite images. We deployed our assets but found nothing. We have contacted the Chinese embassy, who notified us this afternoon that the images were released by mistake and did not show any debris from MH370. The third issue that I need to clarify is on the FAA directive. The aircraft has been fully serviced and was fit to fly according to engineering and maintenance records. All maintenance checks were in order. The last routine maintenance service was conducted on the 23rd of February 2014. The next service was due on the 19th of June. On the radar signals, it is suggested that there was a possibility that an aircraft had passed over the Straits of Malacca. We have a duty to investigate any possibility. We owe it to the families of those on the flight to follow up every lead, and on that basis, we dispatched extra ships and aircraft to search the area. However, our main effort has always been in the South China Sea. We are working very closely with the FAA and the NTSB on the issue of the possible air turn back. They have indicated to us that based on the information and data given by the Malaysian authorities, they being FAA and NTSB, the US team was of the view that there were reasonable grounds for Malaysian authorities to deploy resources to conduct search on the western side of the peninsular Malaysia. Under the circumstances, it is appropriate to conduct a search even if the evidence suggests there is a possibility of finding even a minor evidence to suggest that the vessel, the aircraft would have been there. The fifth issue, ladies and gentlemen, is about raw data. As I am sure you can understand, we would not ordinarily release raw data from our military radar. But in this case, we have put the search effort above our national security. We have shared our data with our international partners, including the US and China, to help with the search efforts. 6, police investigation into the pilots. Reports suggesting that the Malaysian police searched the homes of the MH370 crew are not true, and the Royal Malaysian Police have issued a statement to that effect. Finally, Malaysia's response. I want to touch on the question of Malaysia's response. First, this situation is unprecedented. MH370 went completely silent whilst over the open ocean. We are in the middle of a multinational search involving many countries and more than 80 ships and aircraft. This is a crisis situation. It is a very complex operation, and it has not always been easy. We are devoting all our energies to the task at hand, and I want to be very clear, our focus has been on finding the aircraft. We have not done anything that could jeopardize this search effort. There are times when we have not been able to reveal information, for example, some radar signals, because they require analysis and confirmation by other agencies before they are being released. To release such information before it was ready could have compromised the investigation or the search efforts, and which will add anguish to the relatives. Malaysia has nothing to hide. We have spared no expense and no effort. From day one, we have been in regular contact with our neighboring countries and accepted all international offers for help, to help. We have followed protocols as stipulated by the International Civil Aviation Organization since the incident began. Much has been made about the extension of the search areas. Some claim that Malaysia has slowed down the search. That is totally not true. In fact, we have intensified the search. Again, let me be clear, there is no real precedent for a situation like this. The plane vanished. We have extended the search area because it is our duty to follow every lead, and we owe it to the families. And trust me when I say we will not give up. Questions?
Okay. Hold on. We'll start with the Malaysian. Please.
Dato Seri, ramai yang mengatakan kerajaan Malaysia lambat mengeluarkan apa-apa keputusan mengenai penemuan kehilangan border. Bagaimana pula dengan kerajaan China yang lambat mengeluarkan gambar satelit itu?
Kita tak nak tuduh menuduh, kerana saya dah menyatakan tadi bahawa usaha kita hari ini merupakan usaha bersama. Tidak pernah dalam sejarah di mana kita lihat begini ramai aset-aset daripada pelbagai negara tampil ke hadapan untuk membantu. Mungkin ada sebab-sebab tertentu, pihak-pihak tertentu yang ingin melaga-lagakan keadaan, tetapi ini tidak akan berhasil kerana niat dan nawaitu kita ialah untuk mencari pesawat berkenaan. Dan ini penting untuk saya tekankan di sini kerana saya agak terharu. Sampai hari ini masih lagi ada negara-negara tertentu yang ingin menghantar aset dan membantu dalam kerjasama operasi yang cukup kompleks ini.
What do you mean by the engine near data was not accurately reported? What do you mean by it was not accurate?
The engine data, what was reported that the engine data was transmitted, I think long after the last report that received the last what we call ACAS transmission from the aircraft. based on our records, the last ACAS transmission was done at 1:07 local time. Right? And that was the last transmission that we ever received from the aircraft.
What about 4 hours?
It did not run beyond that.
107. Pertama.
Objects directly linked to the aircraft found by our search and rescue team so far?
No. Unfortunately, no.
Dato Seri, Tasha from the Melemail Dato Seri. Can you please verify reports that there were actually one of the passengers on board, they had flying experience, background from a flying experience, and also has there been requests by the US to lead investigations, and do we have experts to do these investigations currently?
Multiple. On the surface. Floor from please identify.
Ini telah dijawab tadi.
Telah dijawab dah.
Adakah bagaimana US boleh ada data itu dan berkenaan dengan Kod Amat Johan juga berkenaan Kod Tenggo mungkin boleh ulas sedikit sebab hari ini laporan yang terus Mas ada keluarkan Kod Tenggo.
Berkenaan dengan pesawat itu terbang 4 jam, itu adalah boleh kata tak betul, pasal the last transmission yang kita dapat adalah 1:07 pagi waktu Malaysia. Kita sekarang sedang or rather we have contacted both the possible source of the data, Rolls-Royce dengan Boeing, and both have said that they did not receive the data.
Okay, please identify.
There are some medical officers, I think this is an unverified source, are saying that they have been asked to stand by, that they have found the plane somewhere along Penang Island. Is this true?
Amri TV Alitra. Dato Seri, setakat ini masih belum ada maklumat risikan daripada agensi pencegahan antarabangsa, dan yang kedua, ada tak update mengenai 2 warga Iran yang menggunakan pasport turi itu?
Ada 2-3 siasatan yang dilakukan serentak. Tetapi yang paling penting daripada awal lagi saya nyatakan bahawa tumpuan kita ialah untuk mencari pesawat berkenaan. Jadi semua maklumat yang ada ni kita kena tumpukan kepada usaha mencari dahulu. Dari segi siasatan-siasatan lain yang menyentuh kepada keselamatan, sama ada ianya terorisme atau keselamatan berhubung kait dengan penumpang dan pilot kru kita, ini telah pun dijawab oleh Tan Sri IGP kita lebih awal, dan bagi saya ianya akan berterusan. Dan saya boleh nyatakan di sini setiap nama yang ada di dalam manifest itu sedang dikaji dan diteliti, bukan sahaja oleh agensi risikan kita tetapi agensi daripada negara-negara berkenaan.
Please. No, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, look. Please. Identify, please.
Search and rescue, are you expanding areas for the expanding again?
Yes. As long as we do not find any debris or any indication of the aircraft, we will expand the aircraft.
Are you going further?
We will inform you where and when. And for your information, tomorrow I've proposed to the military to have a technical briefing to the media regarding all the assets that have been deployed, both by us and those from the countries. The technical capabilities, for example, the P3 Orion and all the other vessels will be briefed to the media tomorrow to indicate the sophistication of the equipment that we have in our hands at the moment and how we are deploying it.
Yes. Identify yourself, please.
I'm from Guangming. I just want to answer question for Encik Ahmad Juari because about the special consolidation money for Malaysian families. Is it raised up from 6,600 to 16,000? Same with the China family.
As far as this is basically an assistance, okay, allowance. It is the same quantum that we gave, regardless whether you are a Malaysian or you are one of our international travelers. Same quantum.
Okay, Dimitri.
Adakah tahu menerima sebarang maklumat mengenai kalau difahamkan Boeing tu dia ada tahap keselamatannya, yang mana kalau ada kecemasan akan dimaklumkan kepada tahu secara automatik digital messages. Jadi adakah ianya diterima, dan sekiranya tak diterima adakah ianya adalah satu dikawal oleh pilot itu sendiri, dan suggestion yang diterima daripada pihak TV3 sendiri memandangkan Malaysia mempunyai hubungan baik dengan imam daripada Mekah. Jadi bolehkah kita meminta sokongan untuk sama-sama solat hajat di sana di peringkat acara bangsa, kemungkinan doa untuk itu diterima dan dibuka untuk segala jalan penyelesaian.
Alat tu memang ada, dan saya mengesahkan bahawa kita tidak ada terima apa-apa signal daripada semua alat-alat yang ada. Ini yang menyebabkan kita agak sukar untuk memberi maklumat yang lebih terperinci berkait dengan doa dan usaha kita, sama ada di Mekah atau dalam usaha-usaha lain. Saya memang agak terharu, dan bukan sahaja mereka yang beragama Islam, tetapi semua rakyat Malaysia yang pelbagai agama telah tampil ke hadapan dalam satu kesatuan yang amat saya hargai dalam keadaan sebegini rupa. Kita boleh ikhtiar, tetapi akhirnya Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala yang akan tentukan.
Farid from Sidang. I'm aware of several unverified reports from foreign media, especially on such cases. The crew are alive and beaten somewhere by terrorists, and in fact they are held against their will. There's one report that came out today.
I have not heard of that particular report, but I can believe it's not true.
So, correct to say, and your saranan for all these unverified reports.
I've been consistent from the beginning. Semua maklumat yang di luar sana, kalau tidak dapat verification, tidak dapat pengesahan, ia pertamanya akan membantut dan menjejaskan operasi kita. Contoh, berhubung kait dengan maklumat berhubung kait dengan satelit daripada China. Pagi ini kita terpaksa hantar aset-aset kita untuk mengesahkan samanya ia benar atau tidak, dan akhirnya ia merupakan sesuatu yang tidak benar. Ini menjejaskan operasi kita. Keduanya, maklumat-maklumat yang tidak ada penjelasan dan verification, ianya boleh menyentuh kepada perasaan ahli keluarga itu sendiri, memberi harapan yang akhirnya tidak benar. Dan di sini saya nak baca apa yang telah dinyatakan oleh kedutaan China berupa kait dengan satelit. Saya dapat pengesahan daripada dutanya untuk membenarkan. Saya baca word for word, and I quote: "The publication of the satellite image is an accident, a personal behavior to put it in on the website of Sestin. The government neither authorized nor endorsed the behavior, which is now under investigation. The image has not been confirmed is to be connected with the plane. His Excellency, Ini Duta China wishes to reiterate that on our side, we will at the first time inform your side of whatever important developments for verification." Yang for verification tu saya tambah.
Ada kemungkinan dia ada menghantar isyarat distress tapi tidak disedari sebab katakan laporan juga akan melakukan signal itu tango maksud ada untuk sabotaj. Yang kedua, adakah pencarian akan diluarkan ke arah Indian Ocean? So, mungkin yang radar tu detect kemungkinan bukan MH370, mungkin kalau tidak turn right, mungkin dia go straight towards Indian Ocean. Ada tak pencarian yang berhubungan?
Dalam insiden ini kita telah melihat kembali, we play back di recording sebelum hilangnya pesawat dari radar dan seterusnya, dan tidak ada langsung distress signal yang direkodkan dalam rakaman tersebut. Tengok pun tak ada.
But could it be that maybe tak dapat detect?
Kalau tak dapat detect, then we don't know, it's not in our record.
How about the Indian Ocean search?
The Indian Ocean search, that's why we are expanding, intensifying our search into the Andaman Sea, and we have cooperation from the Indian government to likewise help us in the search.
Are you working with radar from other countries?
Yes, we're working with radar. We are asking our neighboring countries for radar that should be able to help us. That's under investigation.
Okay, now we go to the international circuit. Please.
Anshuman from Reuters, can you confirm, did the plane drop off within the radar range, or did you lose sight of it because it went beyond the range of your radar?
We lose the aircraft at the point of when we transfer the responsibility from Malaysia Flight Information Region into the Vietnam Flight Information Region to Ho Chi Minh City Air Traffic Control Center. We lost the aircraft from our radar at that particular stage called Igari. And that's what we know from our secondary radar. And that's it. So if you ask where the aircraft is now, it's easy for us to find it, but we are searching it, the area, and we are unable to find anything on any object from the aircraft.
Okay, the gentleman at the end of this.
Minister, I invite you to be absolutely precise regarding the question of the Indian data. Are you saying that Boeing and Rolls-Royce that no data was received from the engines from the point at which the radar contact?
To be absolutely precise, I think MAS had got to reply to that.
Rolls-Royce and Boeing did not receive any further transmission beyond the last transmission that was done at 107.
Yeah, the last acres transmission was at 107. That should not be helpful now to search for the plane. What is the remaining system in the plane that you are relying on, or what data are you still analyzing at the moment that will help you find the plane?
As far as the ACAS data, that was the last transmission.
No more system in the plane?
No more system in the plane.
So, Gaurav from the Wall Street Journal, can you also explain, when you say that the ACAS data was lost, the last was 107, can you explain what is the frequency of the transmissions of the ACAS data?
The ACAS data is programmed on what we call certain event triggers. Okay? Like for example, upon takeoff, upon climb, reaching the top of climb, and then depending on whether you program it to report every waypoint, right, or you can program it every 30 minutes interval into the flight, or assuming that, not assuming, or when there are abnormalities within any of the systems, whether engine or airframe or other things, and it will then send down data to say that something is not right. But the last transmission received at 107 state that everything is operating normally.
Okay, the gentleman from this, yes.
So, Kashif from Times Now, my question is regarding the cell phone data of the passengers. Has there come out of any investigation into that?
We are still doing the investigation on it.
Okay, please. Salman Alawi from Al Jazeera. The Inspector General was saying that 4 areas to be investigated. That's sabotage and hijacking, problem between the crew and the passengers. Did you identify the possibility? Are you concentrating on one of them, that like hijacking or sabotage or the others?
We are looking at all possibilities.
Yes.
I'm from Thailand. There are about 20 families of Chinese passengers. And what are you going to do with the still without consortium? And what's the difference between letting them working in Beijing and in India?
The 20 Chinese family have made a decision to travel to Kuala Lumpur. Like I said, we are talking to them. They are free to stay in Kuala Lumpur up to up to whatever time they want, and they're free to return back to China if they feel that they want to spend more time in China. So we will help them in whatever way. Yes.
Simmons from NBC News. Does your military radar indicate that the plane changed direction at any stage, or was it flying in a straight line as far as you can tell?
First, we have to establish and reiterate, really, what our Chief of the Air Force said yesterday, that there is a possibility of a turn back. The military radar does not indicate what aircraft it is. We are verifying that with FAA and NTSB. Secondly, as long as the route in which it is taken, personally, I would like to wait until FAA and NTSB look at the raw data, which I said in my earlier statement that we don't normally share with the others, but in the present unique situation, we have actually released it to them. But I cannot confirm it yet.
Yesterday, the fishermen off Port Dixon said they found what they thought were the remains of a brand new life raft. They said they tried to pass over that life raft to members of the Maritime Agency. They say the Maritime Agency then dropped it and it sank to the bottom of the sea. Later, the Maritime Agency said that life raft was not related, did not belong to the Boeing 777. Have you heard about this incident, and how can they be sure?
I've heard many incidents from many sources, and like I said, from the start, we have looked at every lead, and in most cases, in fact nearly in all the cases that we have pursued, we have not found anything positive, but we are continuing with the leads that is available. On that particular incident, I do not have details of it. I will check with the APMN.
Hold on, please.
Press conference that the plane vanished, and we all know that planes just don't vanish. So isn't it just really acknowledging that you have no idea where the plane is, but also, how can you rule out that it didn't fly on if you don't have that detailed information? How can you rule out that the plane didn't fly on after the last?
We have not ruled it out, far from it. Exactly, we didn't say the plane vanished in thin air. We just said vanished, and we are still searching for it. There have been occasions in the past, but it took months to locate a plane, even the size of a 777. And that is something that we will continue, and I've given the assurance that we will even intensify. Of course, like I said, any possibility, and that is why we have extended the area of search.
Yes, please.
Okay, Mars in Beijing press conference today said the MH370 is from the military radar in 2:30 a.m. But yesterday the Air Force said it had a single flight on 2 a.m. Is that the name of the flight is disappeared in 1:35 minutes?
I have to check on that one.
Amen, please.
CNBC. The bottom line here, Minister, is that you have not found the plane. When you consider the integrity of your radar systems, both commercial and military, do you have the fullest confidence in them?
I do, and now it's being verified by the FAA and the NTSB, international bodies. ICAOs are involved. And on the search operations, it's not just about Malaysian assets, We're talking about sophisticated equipment deployed by the US and China. So to say that it's just on our shoulders, I think that is unfair, because the overwhelming support and unprecedented effort on a multinational level, that is something that we should be very proud about, though we need to find the aircraft.
Hold on, Mr. Please. Yes, sir.
Minister Mark Stone from Sky News. Do you feel, you and your team, that you are any further forward with this investigation than you were the moment you discovered the plane was missing?
Until we find debris or more positive information, I'll never feel that we are anywhere forward.
And to follow up on that, other countries, China certainly, are becoming increasingly frustrated, vocally even, about the lack of progress.
I think you should not make sweeping statements like that, because we've been getting quite a lot of cooperation and very positive statements on your part too.
And a specific question, if I can.
I think we do not want to go into a dialogue here.
For the airline, if I can I just ask whether it's possible for anyone to manually turn off the systems that signal from the engines?
Anything is possible in an aircraft system anyway. You can have a total electrical failure on the system and it will basically not transmit anything.
That is Minister.
Yes, please.
Siva from Reuters.
Hi, Siva.
Just to check now, on your military radar, you say that 200 miles northwest, and that is last spotted. Now, the question is the military.
You have to clarify that it's not been established that it is the image.
The plot was found 200 miles northwest of Sidang. Is that the limit of the range of your military radar? Is that, or your military radar extends beyond that? You can see beyond those?
Even if it doesn't extend beyond that, we can get the cooperation of neighboring countries that which are trying to do. I'm not going to release those sort of sensitive information.
Does it drop off your military radar?
Those are too sensitive information, sorry.
Yes, please.
So right from the start. Now, what tool do you have on your table where you can work on to trace aircraft? What tools do you have now on
To save aircraft?
trace the aircraft?
Well, I mean, all the assets I've indicated.
What tools do you have now on the table?
The two areas that and doing the search on those two areas.
Just that.
Yes.
And that's what you're going to tell the relatives. They're going to just on that.
I'm afraid that's all I can say. What else do you want me to say? All the assets are all there, and it's not just Malaysian assets, but it's an international effort. And I feel for the families, I really do. I can't imagine what they're going through. But if I say anything more and speculate, I might be giving them false hope, and that is not responsible.
No neighboring country so far has said Malaysia has requested data on the port on the Straits of Malacca, the bit that the military found. So why is that? Why is that no country so far said that you have made the request?
Which countries have you asked? Which countries have you asked?
Please.
Can you name the countries whom you requested for the data? Can you name
Like I
the
said, we are working very closely. Like for example, Vietnam from the beginning.
Right.
And yesterday's press conference, I indicated very clearly because there were allegations that Vietnam is not working with us. So all this information that's coming out, I have to verify on a daily basis. And I promised you that I'll be here every day at 5:30 to answer to any of your allegations.
And Indonesia, Thailand, have they also?
Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, and as we expand our search, we may have to include other countries as well. And when the time comes, I will reveal it to the media.
Yes, please. Hold on. Please.
Joyce from Straits Times. Are you denying Wall Street Journal's report on the data entry?
Well, I said very clearly the facts. The last transmission we had is at 107 and the system did not transmit any further information beyond that. We did not receive anything beyond 107.
So
Okay.
One more
last question before we wrap up, please. From?
Only when we have identified and gone through the profile of all the crew members, then the police will be in a better position to inform the public that possibility. Because the IGP has indicated the 4 areas that he's looking at. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. With that, we conclude the session for today and we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Baiklah, usaha mencari dan menyelamat masih lagi diteruskan sehingga kini, dan kita terus bersabar dan berdoa agar pesawat MH370 ini dapat ditemui. Untuk perkembangan terkini dari semasa ke semasa, terus setia bersama RTM. Kita kembali ke Angkasa Putih, silakan.
Baik, dia